loosening up. I don't want to. This is just a little 3D printed knob they sent. I don't want to turn it so tight and break it, but. See if I can get that back off, or if I just turn it till it. Oh, I wonder if it's slipping. I'm guessing that might be. Well, we're going to take that off, I think. Vice grips it is. It's better, but it's still bleeding off. I think that's probably as close as I'll ever get it. And that's with nearly no pressure on it, so once I get pressure on the jack, it's just going to get worse. Maybe it leveled out. Nope. Like I said, that's nearly nothing, but there's nearly no pressure on it. That's about as tight as I can get my little vice grips without feeling like I'm going to destroy them. So that kind of sucks. I will likely call them, and I said I was going to do that last time, but I really wanted to try with no lube or less lube. So I think we're going to do that now, and we'll make one call out of if they expect their bottle jack to leak down pressure and how much lube to do. I have the thought of putting the seam right next to that roller, so I can tell if it starts to walk or spin in there. So I think that's all I know. We're going to try it again, but I think I need to go turn the water off for the cows and go back out into the awesome 40-mile-an-hour rains. Thought I was going to get away with not getting in it, but I don't think that's the case. Anyway. Okay, try number 2. With very, very little lube. Basically just what was on the dice before, which I think I might try again. Because it was still plenty slick. That's even after wiping it off to get any of my floor dirt off of it. So 2 things I learned is right there. Yeah, you can see it. I put just a. Oh, it's funny. It's not the dent. That's the dent. But tiny little dent in it where I pumped it down about 100 thousandths without rolling it, or while it wasn't moving, and put just the tiniest little kink in it. Nothing on the back side, just the main roller, which makes sense. 1 pressure point versus 2, the outside rollers. So that led me to turning the machine on every time that I pumped and increased the pressure on the jack, or distance. You know what I mean, tighten the radius. But the catch with that, my black pin marks are 10 foot. So the catch with doing that is, on my last pump, I thought I wasn't going that far, and I was going to try to stop around 750 thousandths, 3/4 of an inch, and I went to 800. I don't know if that's the difference of 50 thou or not, so I'll probably stop at 700 this next time and see if I can hit 10 foot. And then, me being cheap and something, it'll be curious if we can play redneck teeter-totter and try to straighten that out just a touch. Put it in a big smiley face on the floor and have Brandy or somebody hold one side and I'll hold the other and kind of try to unspring it a little bit. The only obvious bummer or catch, or however you want to word it, is it probably won't unspring evenly. But if it's close enough for my stuff, then so be it. Yes. This first one's going to be learning as there and stomp in the center there while trying to hold it and get that bend out and then do the inverse on the other side is my thinking. We'll see if that actually happens. This dude, like I said, with no grease on the pipe, just what was left over from the last pipe, which was literally too much. Oh, and then my jack backing off, it being better this time. I wish I'd taken a video of how it was just tightening that thumb screw, how tight I had it. It leaked off pretty quick. So with me stopping and showing you guys, not that that's why it came loose, but extra time that it was not moving and under pressure probably allowed some twisting. But this one, I would almost blame the amount of bend over here on the floor. It would be interesting. I mean, that's a lot for the floor to be off, but it's curious. The whole rest of it's touching. So yeah, it'd be interesting to throw a straight piece of steel on there. Get a chunk of C-channel or something that'll hold its shape. I guess I got some pretty heavy square tubing over there that if I wanted to try. I don't know that I do. I'd rather bend another one and see if I can get 10 foot and see if it sticks up like that. So let's do that. I don't recall if I've showed it before. These are 20-foot sticks. 24. No, that'd be a full 4 foot on each side. Yeah. It might fit. Because I think I'm a little bit that side. There's a little bit more room on the door side over here. And then the other funny thing, maybe I'll try to take a picture. That one was overbent. So I started running into the track for the door. So I moved the bench this way, which is why I ended up a little bit far that way. Anyway, might have to get a bigger shot. I made another noodle, I think. I have no idea how. It was straight right up until this pass. And while my seam walked down that far, not this pass, but I think it was the first pass, but then it stayed there. I don't know. I think no lube for the win. They say it'll kill your dies, but I'd rather have not noodle and potentially have to replace dies every once in a while. One interesting, useful something. If you're pretty sure you're standing straight under it and you don't see a straight edge there, you're not at 90. So since I'm basically can't get high enough to show you, but bending a 90, it might end up a little over 90, which is what I was assuming by the math. What is it, 17 feet it takes to make a 90? Something like that. And we're playing with 20 foot, so I was hoping to have a little bit over intentionally. Anywho, lots of words to say. I said 700. We might try 710 or 20 or something. Definitely a noodle. Should follow. Oh, that's funny. You should follow that truss. Looking at my table, it should even probably come almost to the left of the truss. Yeah. On the bright side, I think I'm at my 90. Might be a bit over again. Went to, it was 710 before I walked over. Oh, maybe the weight hanging off of it. No, that'd make it less numbers. I don't know. It was 710 in the middle of the pipe. So, anywho, it'd be amusing if I overbent this one and made a noodle both at the same time. I literally just barely put goop on the wheels. Yeah, that center one. Oh, because I ran through my goop puddle and came back and no lube. I think that's my decision. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is I did go a little bit less aggressive. I, for whatever reason, was taking every bit of 150,000 one before I pump. I think that's probably plenty good. So maybe, what is this, the fourth one? we'll get right. Who knows, maybe not too. And we'll take bigger chunks each pass. They say to go little bit, little by little, but I guess define little. And this is theoretically thin wall for this bender, they say. Less talking, more running pipes. So on the right side, it's not as much of a noodle as my first one. Downside is it's not bent tight enough. So I should have had faith in my 750 number. So we'll run it to that and see what we get. This might be kind of obnoxious trying to get them very specifically consistent. I guess we'll find out. Okay, noodle update. 750 is really, really close. Maybe not quite tight enough, but I will say, you'll notice, I think it's worse. Once you've made a noodle, they're really obnoxious to keep straight. Once it starts sticking way up there, it just wants to fall over because they're leaning off to the side, which makes it more noodle shaped. So don't make a noodle. That is my recommendation. The last one I did is about as close to perfect as I will get. That's what I was gonna tell you. But I overbent it by quite a bit. And I'm not sure how, because I went to 750, so back to the whole making consistent bends thing. And it was trying to noodle on me, so still, I think a little bit of lube left on the dies. It was leaving grease marks on the end. So what really happened is, overbent it, didn't noodle it too bad, it doesn't look. And found out if you straighten it repeatedly, it starts falling off. It's because it's loose or slick, one of the two, and you can straighten. Anyway, massive pain in the butt, but keep it straight in the dies and it works. And highly recommend having a very heavy workbench. I stuck the end under that bottom. I started in the middle, but then I realized I was only unbending probably what was hitting the concrete in the arc, you know? So stuck it under that bottom board, board of metal, that bottom brace, and pushed down on the other side and just went a foot or two, and you can kind of feel it spring and give just a little. Anyway, did that a couple times, trying to be careful not to over unbend it. And luckily I didn't do that yet. We'll see if I want to tweak it anymore. I'll see, I'll take that other one that is clearly overbent as well, because it almost reaches these other guys on both ends and is way out in the center. So I'll see if I can make him any closer, better, or at least match maybe? That'd be cool. The odds of matching are probably very slim. So right side can unbend pretty easily and it still seems relatively curved. I'm wondering about, I don't think there's, basically I'm wondering about having some sort of jig for these, if that would be worthwhile, but not for the amount that I'm making and doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, if Super Noodle will straighten. I only need to bend one more, so I'm running out of quote-unquote practice. Maybe the next one will be perfect, so I'll have all the practice done. Okay, gonna pack up, go eat some dinner, and forget everything overnight and try to bend a new one tomorrow. That's my plan.